Spirit. Thank you very much, everyone. Welcome. Before I give the empowerment, of course, you know I'm going to offer the empowerment of the Dorje Nӧnpo or the Vajrasattva. And so before that, I give the brief introduction, which is part of the ceremony. So I give this introduction. And first now, again, always in the teaching mentioned, and always those great masters mentioned, order to receive empowerment, or the starting, meditating, whatever we do, Dharma activity is always to increase and activate our motivation. Again, beautiful motivation of the joy and appreciations. And thankful, grateful. All those are the basic foundation of Dharma, and not just the foundation, but those are the really central columns of the Dharma. Every day, if we have more joy and appreciation, more grateful, to our circumstance and the situation or the surrounding we are. Really, it is really Dharma. It is. It's a foundation, not just a ordinary, basic, or those are basic things. This is basic, but this is the principle of our practices. All Buddha teachings are based on those. This beautiful motivation, joy and appreciation, being grateful, that is so important. Together with that, then Bodhicitta. Again, of course, we all know too, and we heard so many times, but how much we activating that Bodhicitta. And particularly during the practice and meditation, if we can activate the Bodhicitta, then all our practice really will become so perfect and beautiful. And wishing again this today, we're going to receive the empowerment, connect to the Buddha Vajrasattva, in order to benefit for all living beings. Sincerely thinking to all that. Benefit means what? Remove their suffering, difficulty, troubles. Not just remove suffering, difficulty, troubles, but cause of suffering, cause of troubles, difficulties. Those are negative emotions, negative poisons, which these Vajrasattva practices, Vajrasattva receiving empowerment, made that become one of the instrumental to clear away all the troubles, the difficulties of the sentient beings, and as well as this world. There are so many troubles happening around the world, man-made troubles. Those are mostly based on the negative emotions. Not just the most, I shouldn't say that. All is based upon the negative emotions. Really, that negative emotion is from where it started. According we all know, it started from the mind. Mind is the emptiness. That's what we learn. There's no substantial, solid core existing with mind. So now emotion, negative emotion is the illusion, but that has so disturbances to this illusion world. And therefore we activated the joy and appreciation, being grateful. It's good for us, or for ourselves, good for other beings, to families and friends, to everyone. And then Bodhicitta. And then this is Vajrayana teaching, inner Tantra teachings. And therefore, again, activated of the purity nature of the way this all phenomena existence, or all these subjects and objects. According to the teaching, is already enlightened. Everything is enlightened. Nothing to add, nothing to remove. Is all added. Subject is enlightened, object is enlightened already. And that is what the teaching mentioned. And why we don't see? Because of due to the dualities. All those are known as obscurations. That obscurations are not created by someone else and overloaded to us. It is one's own creations, one's own trouble. So therefore, to activating those, we touch purity quality of the nature, we are touching to the core of the true nature, where nature is. All the Buddhas, the Vajrasattvas, see everything in purity status. We are going to really move to that status, to kind of be part of that. In the Buddha teaching, often mentioned that we all enlightened state, really enlightened in reality level. So therefore, kind of built up more confidence, courage, and commitment, and kind of avoiding all the doubt and hesitation, intellectual attitudes, particularly during this empowerment time. Intellectuals and all those are so important on the mundane relative level. But when we receive the involvement, when we receive the practice, the meditation, we start linking with the intellectuals, the doubt and hesitation, they are obstacles. It's hindrance, it's preventing our growth, our realization, and at the same time it's preventing to take the deep root in our heart of the practices. They're not going to lead anything. We've been having doubt and hesitation and skeptical thoughts for a long time, from the beginning time. But that didn't really brought any big result to us. Because the result means they didn't brought us joy and peace, happiness, something that we feel perfectly comfortable. Because of due to the ego activities of these all skeptical, hesitant, and intellectual thoughts. I'm not saying intellectual thoughts are bad. They are really in Buddhism. Intellectual is very important to analyze all gracious teacher, Buddha gave the teaching, studying and contemplations. Studying and contemplation is part of the intellectuals. But there is a time to be intellectual, but there is time to be observing that to the heart and to grow, develop that. If we start thinking all the time intellectual, it's hovering on the brains, it's not sinking to the heart. Heart is then just become as a regular person. Even we receive so many teachings, so many dharmas, even you know a lot, it's just only in the teaching say that something somebody knows something kind of like about the treasures of the rich person, but that don't help to our knowing the pressure or richness of the rich person. That won't help us to feel our need. Our need is to practice and meditate, to observe the teaching to the heart. That is what is important. So therefore, with all those video motivation, and then we go to the part of introduction. Introduction is again, I talk a little bit about the Vajrasattva. Of course, you all know today we are receiving the empowerment of Vajrasattva. So I talk Vajrasattva, a little bit about the Vajrasattva, and then where this teaching comes from. Again, even though we all know where this teaching comes from, but this is the part of the lineage teaching, we always be grateful to those old lineage masters, teachers who brought this teaching until now, who kept that teaching so that we can connect it. Therefore, about how this teaching came. And then, third is the meaning of the empowerment. Meaning of the empowerment. And so those are the few subdivisions. And I now go with the first is like with the Vajrasattva. With the Vajrasattva is of course the teaching of the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni appeared in many different forms and give the different teachings of the inner Tantra teachings or the outer Tantra teachings. Buddha give many levels. Those are the many times, sometimes teachings said Buddha appeared in the form of the Sambhokaya forms and give the teachings of the inner, outer Tantra, inner Tantra. Sometimes the Buddha Shakyamuni appeared as Dharmakaya Buddha and give the inner Tantra, particularly Dzogchen Tantra, Dzogchen teaching, so forth like that. So this time, this Buddha Vajrasattva teaching is given by the Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni in the form of the Buddha Vajrasattva himself give the teachings. So now, who is Buddha Vajrasattva? Buddha Vajrasattva, according to teaching, is a perfectly enlightened being. Once upon a time, Buddha Vajrasattva is also as a regular person. But because of his courage and commitment and pursuing to the practice of meditation, and then Buddha Vajrasattva become as known as Vajrasattva. Particularly, Vajrasattva is so powerful and so powerful and directed to remove the obscuration, the negativities of the sentient being, because that was his commitment, right? In the teaching mentioned. During the process of his enlightenment, he specialized as to remove the obscurations, negativity of the sentient beings, to remove and bring up the clear understanding of the nature as it is. So that is really the Vajrasattva. And Vajrasattva is a very special Buddha. Actually also in the teaching of mentioned, Vajrasattva is embodiment of all Buddhas and the embodiment of all 5 Dhyana Buddhas. If we say 5 Buddha Vajrasattva, if we spread out Vajrasattva, then 1,000 Buddhas, and 100 Buddhas, and 100 Buddhas then come to the 125 Buddhas, and the 25 Buddhas come to the 5 Buddhas, 5 Buddha families. 5 Buddha family come to the one single state as Vajrasattva. Often mentioned, Vajrasattva is who embodies all Buddha families. And now what we be thinking, what really that means? What that means, how that comes. According to the teaching, Buddha Vajrasattva, generally the nature of the Buddha's wisdom, or our nature too, but Buddha's wisdom has all the 5 qualities, and 5 wisdoms, 5 qualities. These 5 qualities of the wisdoms appeared as 5 Dhyana Buddhas. Those are, at many of you will know, 5 Dhyana Buddhas. And those are the Vairochanas, Amitabhas, Vajrasattvas, Renasambhavas, and Amoghas. Those are the 5 wisdoms appeared in the form of 5 Dhyana Buddhas. And now the Vajrasattva is Vajra families. Is according to teaching, is the heart of the Buddhas, Vajra family. It represents the heart. And each of those 5 Buddha family also has 5. Each of those Buddha families, for example, Vajrasattva is the wisdom of the Merala wisdoms. Merala wisdom has all the 5 wisdoms. 5 wisdoms are Dharma Dhatu wisdoms, discrimination awareness wisdoms, and then Merala wisdoms, equanimity wisdoms, all accomplishing wisdoms. This one wisdom has encompassed all 5. That each of those has also 5. Each of those has 5. Its number is a display of the enlightenment. Enlightenment activity has no border, no restrictions, no any times or time and space restrictions. It's pervasive. Therefore, there is so many enlightened beings too. It's all emanated. And why did it emanate? According to teaching, in order to benefit for all living beings, according to their needs. How many sentient beings here? According to teaching, there is no numbers. How many beings? No numbers. Numberless. As far as space goes, that far sentient beings or the beings are existing. As long as beings exist, that much everyone has negative emotions. They have obscurations. They are struggling. As soon as we have the negative emotions, we are not secure. Everyone deep down heart feeling, they like to be secure, happy, and joy, and all that. Reality level, these emotions, this grasping or the bosom is not making stable us. It's struggle. In order to benefit for all those beings, then Buddha emanated so many emanations. So many in order to benefit the beings. But reality level, all these beings have the same nature as Buddha Vajrasattvas or Buddha Shakyamunis. That means we all have the same nature. Same nature. There is no difference according to teaching. We all have the same nature. But yet, our nature of that glowing wisdom, enlightenment, is covered by the obscurations, dualities, that which is created by one's own self. And then we're struggling all the time. Deep down we want happy and joy, but yet, in a way, we're already spoiling because due to the duality of the ignorance, we don't know exactly how to do that. So that's how many Buddhas are emanated. And Buddha Vajrasattva is appeared in many different forms. Dharmakaya Buddha, Sambhogaya Buddha, and Dharmakaya Buddha, and the numerous emanations. Those are according to teaching, all that. In the Dharmakaya level, Buddha Vajrasattva is no different than the Buddha Vajrasattva. Buddha Samantabhadri. They call it Buddha Samantabhadri and the Buddha Vajrasattva are the same. In the Dharmakaya level. Dharmakaya Buddha, that's it. And the Sambhogaya level, then Buddha Vajrasattvas, or Buddha Vajradharas. And the Buddha Vajradhara is often also referred as like Dharmakaya Buddhas. But according to the Nyingma teachings, on the schools or Nyingma teaching, they divided the Dharmakaya into three. Dharmakaya of the Dharmakaya, Dharmakaya of the Sambhogaya, and Dharmakaya of the Nirmakaya. In that way, Buddhas. Dharmakaya of the Dharmakaya Buddha is Buddha Samantabhadri. Dharmakaya of the Sambhogaya Buddha is Buddha Vajradharas. And Dharmakaya of the Nirmakaya Buddha is Buddha Vajrasattva. So it is Dharmakaya Buddha and Sambhogaya Buddha. And then the Vajrasattva is appeared also in the five Dhyana Buddhas. Buddha of the mirror wisdoms, operating in the east. East direction we count as directions. And so that is a Sambhogaya Buddha. And this is Nirmakaya Buddhas are emanated, and Vajrasattva is known as there are so many emanations of Vajrasattvas, and those are such as, and also Vajrapani is known as the Vajra. Even though Vajrapani is totally enlightened beings, but yet he acts as the Bodhisattvas or as the Buddhas in the outer tantras. Buddha, particularly, outer tantra teaching Vajrapani. And there is also in the outer tantra, they are teaching Vajravidaka. In a Tibet, Dorje Nӧnpo Gyü deities, very powerful cleansing and purification practices of the Vajravidaras. So those are so-called emanations, that is Buddha Vajrasattvas. And the Buddha Shakyamuni who came to Terton about 600 years ago, he gave a variety of the teachings as we heard and we know. There's all those teachings that mostly exist. It is. Also teachings are known as then all the teachings of the three Bhaskara teachings. Vinaya teaching, Sutra teaching, Abhidharma teaching, as you all know, or we all know. We heard that. And those teachings are divided into in the yana level, vehicle level. Vehicle, that means the application level. And those are now 3 yanas or the 9 yanas. It depends with the different categories. There is numbers, but 9 yanas, those teachings. And Buddha gave the teachings of these according that in the vehicle or yana level, and then Buddha Shakyamuni gave the teachings on the Vajrasattva in the enlightenment. Mahayoga, Anu Yogas, and as well as Ati Yoga teachings, a lot of teachings about that. And as well as the Buddha Vajrasattva, Buddha Shakyamuni gave the Vajrasattva teaching outer tantras, such as the Kriya tantras, Opa tantras, Yoga tantras, there are many emanations of the Vajrasattva. So this is the Vajrasattvas. This is the great Vajrasattva, and great Buddha. Buddha means full of love, full of kindness, full of compassion, full of wisdom. That embodiment appeared in the form of the Vajrasattva, particularly to purify the negativities, obscurations, Samye blockages, and the vows blockages, and the commitment brokenness, and kind of we feel we are falling apart and down to the earth, and now can't stand up from the ground of the principle of our qualities, and really we have many times to feel those things. Buddha Vajrasattva is the most powerful practice to clear away, purify all the obscurations, the negativities, misdeeds. Those misdeeds in the teaching often said happen sometimes with intentionally, sometimes with unintentionally, sometimes not knowingly, sometimes they happen due to the power of the negative emotions in happen. But when it happens, then negative is negative. Whichever way it happens, it affects us, it affects the others. To clear away that obscuration, particularly understanding those contamination qualities, clear with that, and at the same time, it will not become contaminated and obscured long runs for our practice in meditations. Therefore, Vajrasattva practice is so powerful. For that reason, the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, gave those all teachings so many times, again and again. So Buddha gave teaching. And then this teaching, of course, came to Tibet in the time of the Guru Masamba and Great Master Chandra Rakita and Quintessence, as we all know. At that time, the whole body of the teaching is brought to Tibet. That means on the scriptural level, or in the book or text level, whole body of the teaching board, but not just only the text and the books, but they practiced, they meditated, and got the realizations within that lifetime. They witnessed by the power of meditation, the practice of Dharma, that which came in a way newly in Tibet. That their enthusiasm, the Tibetans, they are so enthusiastic, their devotion, their courage, their commitment, they are eager to learn, to practice, and follow the exact instructions of great masters such as Guru Masamba, Vajra Rakita, Vamala Matar, and other great masters. Really, they actualize realizations, boom, one after another, like what's called mushrooms, really, one after 25 disciples. That all happening in that time, at centuries. It's not that throughout the centuries. And not just that, more than that, 80 Mahasadas in the Yerba region, and as well as 35 Ngakwas, lay practitioners of the Yandong regions. Those are listed. Really, all of that. So Tibet, mountain and valleys and lands are filled with the Dharma, the teachings, the scripture in the book forms, as well as the realization form. That is in Buddha teaching. It said, Buddha teaching is true, scriptural and realization. Scripture aspect of studying and contemplating. That is scriptural level. But when you start and contemplate, result is the practice. That is the meditation practice. But that too uphold the teaching of the Buddhas, which is the best absolutely on love, kindness, compassion, non-violence, respect and appreciation to all living beings without any discrimination. That we know. Oh no. It is something truly connected to our heart, truly treasure our heart. We all love our deep down, whether we are we have the belief or not belief. But we love, everyone loves peace. Everyone loves happy. Everyone loves calm, tranquility, appreciation, grateful. Everyone loves. That is Dharma. Dharma is really teaching that. And whether the practitioners can be able to keep that up or not, that is different. The nature of Dharma, that's it. And so it becomes so established and saturated in heart and minds of all the great practitioners and that thing. And the Guru Masamba particularly gives so many teachings of the Vajrayana teachings and other teachings. And also those teachings are then continued, as I mentioned. Oh yeah, you all know. And it's the three lineages, or in Nyingma particularly, said Kama and Terma and pure vision lineage. Those pure three lineages were Kama and Terma and pure lineage. Each of those has three principal lineage of the Nyingma schools, what they call mind-to-mind transmission lineage, and the symbolic transmission lineage, and the oral transmission lineage. Those all contains, these three lineages contains within the lineage of the Kama, within the lineage of the Terma, within the lineage of the pure vision lineages. And among that, the lineage teaching, particularly this teaching, is the Dharma teachings. Dharma teaching is then, again, so many great Tertons came. Those are the emanation of those 25 disciples, as well as the 80 Mahasadas of the Yerba region, and 35 of the Ngakwas of the Yandong area regions, and all those. And so there's so many those great masters as urged reached by the Gurapa and Masambhava, and then they emanated so many Tertons, so many masters, scholars, and so many also really who benefit all the other beings, and it may be not necessarily in the form of the teacher and all that, but benefiting, helping, support. So many forms came. Among that, this teaching is discovered by the great Terton known as Dudjom Lingpa. Many of you know, many of you heard and know the language of this Dudjom Lingpa. And Dudjom Lingpa is the renowned reincarnation of the Sangye Yeshe, Nupchi Sangye Yeshe Rinpoche. Nupchi Sangye Yeshe Rinpoche. Nupchi Sangye Yeshe is one of the 25 disciples of Ngurpa Masambhava and Shandarakita and Mamalamatara, but also he was also known as 9 heart-like students of the Ngurpa Masambhava. 9. Ngurpa Masambhava, first time when he gave the empowerment on the Samye monking in the cave, according to the teaching, he gave the empowerment of the 8 Herukas in the Samye cave for 9 students. Among that, Sangye Yeshe was one of them, that student. And that included for the Yeshe Soja, as well as the Quintessence, and so forth. There's 9 students. So Sangye Yeshe was one of the 9 students, heart-like student. Also sometimes called 9 Vidyadharas of Tibet. At Vidyadhara of India, 9 or 8 Vidyadharas of the Tibet. They are called part of the Sangye Yeshe is the Vidyadhara of the Tibetan, or 9 heart-like students of the Ngurpa Masambhava. And the Sangye Yeshe is not just only that, but he was one of the principal lineage holders of the Nyingma Karma teachings. And he was also the founder of the Anu Yoga teachings. 3 Tantra teachings, Mahayoga, Anu Yoga, Ati Yoga teaching, and Ani Yoga teaching, who both fit Tibet. Of course, Ngurpa Masambhava and Mamalamatara and the Shandaraki they give, but specifically Anu Yoga Tantra, whole body of Anu Yoga Tantra, Sangye Yeshe brought Tibet. Sangye Yeshe was a very courageous person, courageous, determination, and courageous. Around 87, when he was young, he always had a willing and a wish to go India and other countries. So, because of his courage and commitment, that thought, then he went to India and Onriana, and now modern times even they called Hunza, I think it's in Pakistan now, Hunza. Those areas, all together, 7 times in some histories. He really went. But during that time, he received so many great teachings from all the Buddha teachings, particularly the Anu Yoga teaching, and it is a Tantra that he brought back to Tibet. So, among the 3 inner Tantra, the Anu Yoga Tantra is really established or brought back to the Tibet by Sangye Yeshe Rinpoche. And the Sangye Yeshe was then also, as I said, the very powerful, important lineage holders of Tibet, of the lineage holder of the Karma teachings. So he emanated so many Tertons, one after another, really many great Tertons, one after another, and then Dudjom Lingpa was one of the renowned Terton, emanation and the Terton of the emanation of the Sangye Yeshe. And the Sangye Yeshe's emanation also in the teaching said that such as the great master Mohan Rinpoche, the great scholar, he was also emanation of the Sangye Yeshe. When Ngurpa Masambhava gave the 8 Heruka teachings, Sangye Yeshe's empowerment, or when he threw the flow was to the mandala, which is to identify, which is their connected deities, and the Sangye Yeshe and flower fell down on the mandala of the southern direction, and that is the mandala of the Yamintakas. So Yamitaka is his personal, Menjukiri has become his personal deity practices, and he actualized realization through Yamitaka practice. So therefore, Sangye is renowned as a very famous yogi or the master, Videdara of the Yamitaka practice, among the 8 Heruka practices. And now this master emanated so many, as I said already, and the Dzogchen Lingpa came around, I think end of 16.